All right, welcome guys. We're working in Adobe InDesign Revealed Creative Cloud by Chris Botello. We're working in chapter 7 and we're going to be working with the pen tool in this chapter as well as the frames. We're going to be reshaping some frames and working with stroke effects, compound paths, and some advanced text features. This first exercise is we're going to open and save it as Halloween Witch, and we're on page 7-9. We're going to go to View on the menu bar and make sure that the display performance is under High Quality Display, which mine is, and then also make sure that the grids and guides, that you want to make sure that both Snap to Guides and Smart Guides are not checked, which mine are not. When drawing with a pen tool, it can be kind of frustrating, and so you want to make sure that you're not using the Smart Guides. That's a little distracting. But number 2, that you're not snapping to some grid when it's when you're working with the pen tool as well. So we're going to pick up the pen tool. We're going to make sure that the default stroke and button, the default stroke and fill button arch is checked, no fill and a black stroke. And then we should have zoomed in on the last half or the bottom half of the image. You want to go to your Layers panel and make sure that Layer 2 is targeted. We're going to grab the pen tool and we're going to click the center of the purple star to start our drawing. And then we're going to hold down Shift and we're going to click on number 1. Holding down Shift makes that line a straight line, or you can do it on a 45-degree angle as well. But we're going to come up to number 2. Holding down the Shift key again and click on number 2. And then we are going to access the hand tool by pressing on the space bar. And you'll see that then you can click and drag your illustration around as need be. We're on number 2. We're going to go and bypass number 3 and click on number 4. Now we're going to go up underneath the pen tool and you'll see that there are 4 different options there. You can add an anchor point, delete an anchor point, or convert a direction point. We're going to add an anchor point and we're going to click right here someplace on this line between 2 and 4. And then we're going to get the direct selection tool and we're going to click and drag that line. And make sure you get it selected first and then click and drag it to this point 3. Then you're going to go back up and I'm going to just move this slightly because it's kind of off target here. Going to go back up and get the pen tool, and I'm going to again click on number 4 to pick that up. I'm going to click on number 5 and then I'm going to drag the directional handle out to this star. The direction line that we've just created points to number 6, which in effect should make it easier for us to create that next line. But honestly, I've done this about 85 times and it does not equate to that directional handle going to number 6. See, this is the anchor point. These 2 are the directional handles, and where you drag that directional handle is going to dictate the direction of your next path. So theoretically, if we click and drag it out here, it should make it easier to drag and create that nice little curve that we want to create. For whatever reason, I'm not quite sure, it's just not working quite as well as what I would like it to. So now if you look at this, I've got that handle going this direction, which we want to go on to number 7. And then we want to pull this handle out to this star towards number 8. going to go back in and try to manipulate that handle to make it a little bit shorter and hopefully make it conform to that that curve a little bit better. All right, so then we're going to again get the pen tool and we're going to pick up number 8. But because we stopped at number 7 and reorganized, we have to go back to number 7 and pick up the path again. So I'm going to click on number 7. Then I'm going to come over here to number 8. We're going to come over here to number 9. And again, I'm going to pick up that white directional tool and I'm going to reposition that handle so it conforms to that curve, but then I want this to also go up towards number 10. So it's kind of competing against what I'd really like to make happen. So I'm going to try that again. Again, it's just the pen tool is wonderful to use, but it can also be really frustrating, as you can see. So we're going to go to number 10. I'm going to go to number 11. I really hate to have to stop and reconfigure our handles, but it seems like that's the only way that I can make it work. Seriously, good lesson in playing with the pen tool, right? Let's see if I can make this work again. See, this is what you want to avoid, are these little curves out here that okay, I'm not going to listen to the textbook anymore. I'm just going to do it the way I think is the right way to do it. I'm going to pick up the pen tool, pick up this anchor point, and drag down here, and drag, come over here, whoop, and drag, down here and drag. Now it seems to be working a little bit better as we come across this bottom portion. But again, no worries. You may have to start and stop this a couple of times, but the last point that you're going to add is going to bring you right back to the beginning, and you want to get that little round circle at your pen tool that shows that we're closing out that path, and there you go. On page 7-12, they did do some conversion of anchor points, which I did not do as I was following through. So if you want to follow the exact instructions, they do some conversion of anchor points, which takes a curved anchor point like this, and if you click on it, it will create an anchor point that is not a corner or a curve, but it's a specific, just a hard edge, turning the corner anchor point. All right, so we have finished out the illustration. I'm going to zoom back a little bit so you can see that. And I'm going to zoom in here because this is one area that I did not like very well. And let's see if we can use that convert anchor point tool here to our advantage. Not too bad. So I straightened out that line, and then I can also straighten out that line. And that worked pretty good. As you see up here, there's some of the other ones that I might convert as well. The rest of them remain pretty much in line. So now we've got the entire path filled. I'm going to select it with a black selection tool, and we're going to switch this fill and stroke by clicking on this little arrow, swap fill and stroke colors, and now your witch is filled with black. All right, the next exercise will be to create a reshape a frame using the direct selection tool and pin tool. So we're going to save this, Command S. Oh, geez, I didn't want to do that. We're going to redo swap and fill, do a command, not Z, but S, which is what I accidentally hit, and close this out. We're going to open up a 7-2. We're going to update the links. We're going to do a file, save as. We're going to save this as Halloween invitation _ your name. And I will be back in just a minute to walk through this exercise with you.